It's a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Hosdale.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a cool setup. I like your setup. It's cool.
Yeah, it's my home studio over here.
I yeah, that's cool.
Last November, we received really good news over here. Bush is returning to Brazil this year for a couple of gigs. Isn't that right?
Yes.
You're playing first at Lollapalooza. And is there any reason why the band was announced later than the other lineup bands?
I don't know. For me, I love to come to Brazil, and we make it very clear. And so when they ask us to come, we're very happy. So I don't know about other people.
It's the third time you've been here, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, something like that. Fourth time. I made a movie there as well, but that's a different subject.
You're doing the loaded greatest hits on this tour.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, there'll probably be a new song. We have a new record coming, so it's a combination of things. But yeah, the best we got.
Could you share the process behind selecting the songs for this album?
That was just, I think, based on whether or not there'd been hits here on the radio in America. So there were like 26 songs, 28 songs that were qualified, and then just choosing the right ones. And I don't know, yeah. So they were just chosen off chronology, like what had the most plays and the most. I mean, of course, that was at a time before streaming. So when Glycerine was played then, I didn't get the number of plays, but in the houses, it must have been played a lot of times. The numbers really, I kind of, my manager kept on talking to me more about it, and he was more involved in it. I said, look, do it in the order they came and the ones that had most success, make most logical. I kind of miss War Machine. There's the four songs, Mad Love, War Machine, and one other that we didn't put on that I wish we'd put on. So I was like, why did I not push for that more? So there you go.
I see. Have you already decided which songs will be on Brazilian set list already or not?
No, not yet. It depends on how long. Obviously, the show Lollapalooza will be maybe an hour, I think, and then the other shows will be a bit longer. So it gives us more chance to play more songs. So just work backwards from what we're told.
And how do you usually choose them? Like this one, you're the only one that choose the songs on set list. How does
Well,
it
what
work?
happens is that I start the idea, and then I take it in, and then someone else might suggest something's different. Oh, why don't you try this to this? We often think about tempos. Tempos are really important.
Sure.
So you don't lose people energy. So we think about tempos. I think about tempos and how to sort of have this fantasy imagined show. Like, yeah, I want to 4 or 5 songs. I want to go. Then I want to where we chill, 6 songs, 7 songs, a little bit. Maybe not song number 8 is a different sound, not so heavy, give the ears a break. Then 9, 10, finish exciting, then you have an encore, you come on, you fucking go hard. It's just all about how can we be most exciting, and I want people to love us.
You actually have different guitar tunes as well, right?
Yeah, lots of different guitar tunings.
So
Yeah,
you have to think that not to change the guitars every time.
well, I always that's the thing, that what happens is I'll go in and I'll say, can we do this set? And then someone will say, do you mind if we do these two? Because that's the same tuning. Let me keep those two song guitars on. So, that stuff happens. And I think it usually works out. But I like to play lots of new songs. Sometimes they like to play some older songs. I like to play the newer songs. I don't like to play the older songs as much as the new songs. It's my favorite to play new songs.
Is there any song that you say, oh my God, I have to play this again, or it doesn't happen?
No, I don't think of songs like that, because those songs literally gave me everything.
Yeah,
So
you're correct.
it would be very ungrateful to any of them, even the ones that aren't as strong. They had to be, even a wall has to have a little bit of cement, a small piece of strong. So, I couldn't disrespect that those songs. They gave me everything. I sometimes, I would like to write better songs and have better records all the time. And this new record, I think, is really good. I'm very excited about that. But I'm not one of, some people, I hate this song. I have to play this song so much. Yeah, you play it so much because people like it. It's a very, very high class problem. I don't think that's a problem. And I don't like doing long shows. I think hour 45, hour 50 is enough of anyone. No more. Like 2 hour shows. I've never seen a 3.5 hour show, but I can't imagine I want to. Don't know. It's enough. Apart from Taylor Swift, I know she's probably perfect, has 4 hour shows, but everyone else, you know.
And talking about concerts, can you tell me which one was the best or most iconic you ever played?
Oh man, we're talking about doing Lollapalooza going to Brazil. Of course, that is going to be the most iconic thing I ever did. I'm always about the future. You know, I like to see what's happening, what's coming up, because life is now. So yeah, I'm excited to think, if I think about Woodstock or Dallas Raceway, or I don't know, the Greek Theater or the Hollywood Bowl, or this Madison Square Garden, all these things, but nothing matters. That's just gone. That's like water. It's gone away. What's important is Lollapalooza. That's what's important. That's the big thing. So the future is my exciting thing. So what's your favorite song to play? My next one.
And talking about the Woodstock 99, there was some concern about Bush playing after Korn, right? It was as tense as it shows on the Netflix documentary.
I mean, we had an amazing show. There was a whole element of the crowd that I'm sure were disappointed in some ways. Funny enough, now we'd be better with all the detunings and all the riffs. We could fucking smoke Woodstock now. But then we did a lot of regular tuning, so it doesn't sound as heavy. But we had a great show. The Weeknd deteriorated into something terrible. Corner, an amazing band. It's fucking great. I'd do that in a heartbeat. I would tour those bands in a heartbeat.
I could imagine how nervous you were. Like, oh, we have to kick some ass in there, because
Korn. Actually, really, at that time, it's funny. At that time, I was really turned on by never looking at a crowd before I went on. So I was backstage. And this always worked for me until I went to Woodstock, and I go up on stage, and it's 500,000 people, you know. So it's like, it was so massive that I just was like, it would have taken a deep breath of like shock at the size of it. All I could see was people. As far as my eyes could see, my eyes couldn't go to where there was no people. So that was an amazing shock, amazing thing. And then it just was terrible. It went into an awful weekend. But yeah, we had a great time. Love Korn. Love me some Korn.
Do you remember your first contact with rock and roll?
Yeah, I was helped my sister's boyfriend carry his equipment when I was 14 years old into a shitty rehearsal room that smelled of damp and smoke and alcohol. And I carried all the equipment in. And I didn't know why, but I felt very at home. It felt very, very at home. So that'd be my first experience of that. Driving into shows, helping load gear in, standing outside small pubs and clubs. Too young to go in the front, but young enough to help them bring in.
And you remember your first album, the one you say, oh, I want this one?
Yeah, probably my first album, oh my God, would be like X-Ray Specs, Germ-Free Adolescence. That record had like so, you know, genetic engineering could create the perfect race, create an unknown life force that could actually exterminate. It's just genius, brilliant lyrics. So I've always liked lyrics, you know.
Yeah, lyrics is very important in my opinion too. And by the way, Comedown was your first composition, right?
Yeah, it's the first song I wrote on my own. Yes.
Yeah, and what changed from there to I Beat Loneliness in terms of creation?
Not much. You know, I just try and sing to music that turns me on and that I like. I can do it in a studio now. I can make it sound like there's a lot of me. You know, I can be a drummer, I can be a bass player, I can be a keyboard player, I can get the drums great. It sounds really like a lot of people, but it's just me sitting here. And then I can try and sing to it and find something that lifts me up, lifts up. I think of the shows, I think of crowds, I think of what I need, what I have, what's missing, what's the tempo that's missing, what's the energy that's missing. So I'm always like, just that's how I can write songs. And so it's the same thing, different tunings. I'm a better guitar player, much better bass player, I can program better, but I still not overconfident in it. You know, it's like the ocean or something, you know, it can still beat me up and make me sound shit and I don't sound good, or, you know, I think it has to retain an amount of mystery to me. I keep trying to understand it, but it's just like the way that things work, counterpoints, the way that why this voice works, these notes against these chords, that stuff is just so difficult to know. Why? You just try it and then you strike gold. It's just like mining, And so I love that mystery. And I think that mystery is what keeps me vital. It keeps the music vital. Like my music doesn't sound, you could not like it, but you could never say it's, you have to admit it's vital. It's like, it's got a sort of like a wound, like a sort of a living, breathing thing. It's got a vibe to it, I'm really proud of this new record. I think the band's incredible. I wrote some songs with my producer. He did an amazing job. It was really fun. And I just wish you had that record now. I wish these interviews were about the record. That's the fun bit. When you make a good record, then you do an interview about them. It's such a relief for everyone, because if the record's shitty, nobody wants to talk to you about it. Or if they do, they're just lying, and you're lying. It's interviews of lies. If the record fucking hits, slaps, the interviews are great, fun. Everyone's like, yeah, great. What a great way to spend the day.
And have you decided the release date yet?
No, that's not. No. I think there'll be I don't know. The good news is we did it. It's done, it's completed, being mixed. So it'll be ready to go to mastering in like a month, 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Any of the songs on Brazilian setlist?
I hope so, yeah, because we want to have a song out. So I want to play a new song. I don't want to be disappointing. How annoying to talk about the new record and not play it. Like, just play it. So I want to play probably a new song. I think one's enough, because it's when the crowd's so big, and song they don't know at all is very challenging. So I hope I can get it to Brazilian radio so people can play it a little bit. So people are like, otherwise, my band probably won't let me, but I'm going to try my best. I promise you. They try to be conservative, I'm always like, fuck it, let's go for it. Let's do it.
And I saw you already been to Curitiba and Rio de Janeiro before, besides São Paulo. What memories you have from these first 2 visits? Do you remember something like the marked you?
Yeah, I just remember the excitement. I remember the culture, the people. I like the feijoada. I like the Brahma beer, but the Brahma beer. It's sort of like, I just remember the warmth. We made a lot of good friends down there. I got a lot of good Brazilian friends who I get along with, and like I don't know many. It's a warm country. Like, I'm a warm person. I have a warm, very, very warm heart. I just respond to being in Brazil. I respond to that lifestyle. I like this healthy. Everyone's athletic. Everyone's just finding the best time. I think the favelas are really, these wild, like, we think of it culturally, all this like incredible life that goes on in there. I want to go into the bars there and kind of experience the life in there. But yeah, it's an exotic, beautiful country.
Yeah, it sure is. You should stay more here to know Brazilian deeper.
I know. I want to come a few days early. I want to just to get ready. I want to come a few days early.
And you were more than invited to come to Kiss FM in person.
Thank you.
In your opinion, what is harder, acting in a Hollywood movie or recording a video clip?
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're obviously when I do the movie stuff, you're trying to, it's a different feeling, and you're in your world all day long, and I have the words. I don't want to be the jerk that doesn't know his lines, so I always know my lines, but I'm always running my lines, and you're in it, and it's a different thing because you're sort of connected to people in a creative way, and I love that they take words off the page and just make them dance like real life, like real talking. And I find that mesmerizing. I love and action and rolling. And you have this crazy pressure. There's 150 people on set. Everybody's got a different job. Don't fuck it up. Know your line. Do what you're hired for. So there's a professional challenge in it. You're professionally challenged. And I love that process. Wow, when you work with a great actor and these words you've been working with, they make them alive and they're talking to you like a conversation. It's just like, wow, it's exhilarating because I grew up loving movies, you know. But then whenever I work on movies, all the electricians, all the guys behind the scene, and the gaffers, the grips, they're like, hey man, what are you doing? When's the next tour? Where's the new Bush record? Why are you here? You know? And so they made me feel guilty. So every time I finish a record, finish a movie, I want to run back to my first love and like be in the studio and I make music and I go on tour because I feel like I'm betraying my music when I'm acting to be someone else. But it's a lot of fun. So I hope I do more one day. You know?
Football player, musician, actor, you have a cooking show, fashion brand. Your bucket list must be like almost empty by now, right? Anything else you want to achieve?
Yeah, always. I mean, that's the beauty of life. You can be forever improving. There's so many ways, and especially now, social media. You know, it's fun because I know there's a lot of negative things about social media, but one cool thing about the feeds, like my feed seems to know that like I have all this like insights into how you can make your body work better, you know, how you can have really insightful thoughts into your mind, different philosophies, different stoic things, different forms of training. I've got loads of strongman training, functional training, kung fu Shaolin trainers. It's just so there's just so much stuff all the time. I think that it's the modern world, everything is at our fingertips to really, really just get the most out of every day. It really is, you know. It's exciting, you know, little things, you know. And the other exciting thing I want to say on the radio, João Fonseca, this kid, I'm a crazy tennis player, right? I love tennis. This kid is exciting. It's the most exciting thing to happen to tennis. He's going to be the king. Brazil's going to have the king of tennis. Brazil's going to be like so. Gustavo Kuerten all over again.
It's Guga.
But yeah, Guga, you know, no, this kid is unbelievable. I watched him last night. I don't know if you see the Australian Open. He is the future of tennis. Him, Sinner, and Alcaraz. That's the top three now for the next 10 years. 15 years, perfect. 20 years. That kid's going to be the best. That kid's the best.
Gavin, thanks so much for your time. Wish you all the best and hope you can meet in person in March.
Okay, thank you so much. All the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.